पता है हम तकरीबन लास्ट एक दो लेक्चर्स पे अब खड़े हैं. दिस इज द थर्ड लास्ट लेक्चर टुडे एंड प्रोग्राम का इफ्तिताह आपको पता है हम अपने तिलावत कुरान से करते हैं. सो आज नासिर साहब तिलावत कुरान करेंगे और फिर हम सेशन का आगाज करते हैं. ठीक है, नासिर साहब तिलावत कर दीजिए.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Jazakallah. So, of course, the program, the whole course is about to end with a few lectures waiting. Today's lecture is on diabetes and obesity. This is a different lecture from the rest of the theme. And this was a lecture which was not, successful when we attempted last time due to technical issues. Today's speaker is Dr. Muhammad Umar Khan. He is Deputy Director of National Institute of Diabetes and Endocrinology and he's Assistant Professor Medicine as well in the Dow University of Health Sciences. Without much delay, I request Dr. Umar to kindly start the lecture. I'm not going to run the pre-lecture questions and post-lecture questions because we had discussed those questions in quite detail in the last session. So we'll just go through the topic today and we'll revise about diabetes and obesity. Over to you, Dr. Umar. डॉक्टर उमर आप लेक्चर स्टार्ट कर दें.
माइक अनम्यूट करें डॉक्टर साहब.
हो गया. So without wasting the time, I start the lecture. Very important topic, diabetes and obesity. Type 2 diabetes is characterized by, we all know that the hyperglycemia, insulin resistance, and relative impairment in the insulin secretion, and is possibly long-term complication. The pathophysiology, pathogenesis is multifactorial, such as obesity, aging play a role. The term diabesity is a new term which refers to the diabetes. First of all, I share two cases. Case one, 30 years old businessman come to you with the complaint of progressive weight gain, lead a sedentary lifestyle informed by 88 Acanthus nigricans over the nape of the neck is 89 centimeters. Rest of the examination is unremarkable. The lipid profile, labs test, total cholesterol is 215, LDL cholesterol 155, HDL cholesterol 35, triglyceride 175, fasting blood glucose 105, glucose tolerance of fasting 105 milligram, and post 2 hour post glucose postprandial 175. So this is a typical patient who has an obesity with impaired glucose tolerance, repeat diabetes, and the dyslipidemia. We can say that he has metabolic syndrome. So second patient, similarly same, very active life participating patient. That is a businessman, 55-year-old businessman with busy life, non-diabetic for last 5 years. He has very unpredictable lifestyle and nature of job is very demanding. He does not check his blood glucose level routinely. When his doctor inquired about the meal, he said that because of the busy schedule, usually binge eating. And whenever he get time, he has never watched his carbohydrate portion. He is an overweight person with a BMI of 27. Since the beginning, he had a poor glycemic control. Currently, he is taking metformin 1000 milligram twice daily, pioglitazone 30 milligram once daily, HbA1c 11, fasting blood glucose 170, and postprandial 250 milligram per deciliter. So again, this is the type 2 diabetic patient who has 5 years of diabetes, who is having the sedentary lifestyle, and the eating habit is again there's no time of eating. So again, this is the patient who is obese with diabetes. So when we talk about the prevalence of obesity, global burden of the disease studies mention Pakistan ranked 9th out of 188 countries. 2.1 billion overweight or obese people in the world, which was in the previous years, that is 857 million in 33 years earlier, 38%, and WHO aimed to halt the rise of obesity by 2025. And when we talk about our country, Pakistan is every third person in the Pakistan is obese, and Pakistan is the ranked top 10 countries. Underdeveloped countries like our country, but also it increasing in the developed nations like the United States and European country, England, Italy, France. And it is projected to be increased in future. That is, the United States will be the top country in the prevalence of obesity in 2030. This is because the 2/3 of the American are overweight. This is because of the excessive use of fast food and sedentary lifestyle. On the other hand, excessive use of the laptop, mobile, television, and the lack of exercise. So when we talk about the prevalence of diabetes, in IDF, according to IDF in 2019, 463 million people. It is estimated that in 2045, they are 700. But at the moment, recent data shows that the prevalence, we have achieved the target of 2045 in 2021 in recent IDF data. This is a very important slide. That is, Pakistan was in 2019 the 4th country. That is, prevalence of diabetes was 19.4 million in Pakistan, and it is said that our country Pakistan become 3rd in 2045. But this milestone has been achieved earlier. That is, according to recent IDF data, Pakistan is number 1 country in the prevalence of diabetes. So huge number of patients of diabetes as well as obesity in our country. As we all know, the type 2 diabetes is progressive disease, and there is an at the time of onset of diabetes, 50% of the beta cell has been destroyed. So the disease process of pathogenesis starts 4 to 7 years prior to the onset of diabetes. And then at the onset, there is an insulinopenia as well as insulin resistance, and as a result of which, the gradual increase in fasting and postprandial blood glucose, and ultimately there are complications in 10 or 15 diabetes, because when we talk about the metabolic syndrome, this is very important. Type 1 diabetes is a type more to 126, and fasting
Sir, please unmute your mic. Sir, please unmute your mic.
Dr. Umar, we can't hear you.
अब आ रही है, आवाज आ रही है?
जी,
Now
जी.
you hear?
Yes, yes.
Obesity is a medical condition in which excess body fat has accumulated to the extent that it may have adverse effect on the health. There are two parameters by means of which we diagnose the obesity: BMI, body mass index, and waist circumference. BMI is basically weight in kilogram divided by height in meter square. So, there are two different classification: WHO BMI classification and the Asian BMI classification. According to WHO BMI classification, underweight is less than 18.5 is underweight. From 18.5 to 25 is a normal weight. From 25 to 30 is the overweight. From 30 to 35 BMI obesity class 1. From 35 to 40 obesity class 2, and above 40 is obesity class 3, that is morbid obesity. Asian BMI is little bit lower side because there are more cardiovascular risk and more change in the lifestyle. So in Asian, underweight is same, but normal weight is 18 So obesity is आवाज आ रही है? मैं कर दूं आवाज स्लाइड शेयर हो रही है आपको?
Yes, yes, slide is shared and your voice is also very clear.
Okay. Some technical issue and net disconnected again connected. So obesity is the like a game jigsaw puzzle is a central part of all of the metabolic problem, that is insulin resistance. It causes insulin resistant diabetes, blood pressure, triglycerides, hypertriglyceridemia, and hyperlipidemia. So obesity usually, what are the causes of obesity? Obesity usually results from the combination of unhealthy eating behavior and coupled with the sedentary lifestyle. कोई जिंदगी में एक्सरसाइज वगैरह वॉक एक्सर्शन नहीं है, सिर्फ ओवर ईटिंग हो रही है, इसकी वजह से ओबेसिटी हो रही है. The causes are genetic causes. Most common is leptin deficiency. Leptin is a hormone which maintain the body weight. Basically, this hormone make the patient act on the brain and as cause the early satiety, so patient can feel fullness of the stomach and the hungerness is abolished. So it is very important as far as satiety is concerned. So deficiency of leptin resulting the overeating and the obesity. Overeating is another cause. Some people are fond of eating, they are overeating. Diet high in simple carbohydrate. Diet high in simple carbohydrate like the cold drink and the sugary products like sweets and the excessive use of bread and the rice and potato can lead to the overeating carbohydrate and the deposition of the at the form of the fat obesity. Frequency of eating, more frequency of eating, more chances. Slow metabolism, for example, if the patient is hypothyroid, the metabolic rate decrease and resulting in the obesity.
कि डॉक्टर उमर का टेक्निकल जो sorry, today also we are facing this technical issue. Let's see if Dr. Umar joins back.
is used in all classification, whether the obesity class 1, class 2, class 3, and pharmacological therapy is required when there is a BMI more than 30 without comorbid, or when BMI 30 to 29 with comorbid. And surgical treatment modality is required when the BMI is 40 or more than 40, or when the BMI is 30 to 35 to 40 in the presence of comorbid condition. So lifestyle modification, as we all know, the dietary modification is very important and hallmark of the treatment of obesity. Reduced caloric healthy diet, that is up to 75 kilocalories per day should be decrease in the total calories, and the target should be 5 to 10% loss in weight in 3 to 6 months. Individualize the targets of the patient according to the patient BMI level and other risk factors. Meal plan is very important, and for this, different type of the diet is advised. Mediterranean diet, DASH diet, low carb diet, veggie diet, and high protein diet. Meal replacement sometimes is required because of the patient is taking the junk meal. So meal replacement with a more natural, it is vegetable food and less junk food and the sweeteners. Very low calorie diet is an option in selected patient required medical. So all of this we can help take from the dietitian. Then physical activity is very important. For example, brisk walk, any type of the exercise, for example, cycling, jumping, swimming. The duration is more than 150 minutes per week. That is 5 days a week. Sometimes resistant exercise can play a role in reducing the weight, and sedentary lifestyle should be discouraged. And a very important thing is step counting. Now that there is step counting, we can use a technology that is a application in the mobile which count the step counting. 5,000 to 7,000 step per day is very important it can replace the exercise. So sometimes we need trainer and tutor for the exercise. And then behavioral change very important. For example, safe monitoring, not only monitoring of the blood glucose level, but also monitoring of the exercise time and monitoring of the food. And the goal setting is very important. Goal setting not only for the target of blood glucose, but target of the weight. Education is very important. When we give the education face to face by means of doctor, by means of the nursing, by means of paramedical staff, education to reduce the weight, what type of the food a patient should eat, and problem solving strategy can be applied. Stress reduction reduction is also can help, and psychological evaluation counseling is very important, and motivational interview. And so it is a holistic approach of all the doctors, the nurse, the dietitian. So this is the research which shows that this is Finnish diabetes prevention study. Shows the lifestyle modification not only decrease the weight and waist circumference, but also decrease the systolic blood pressure and also diastolic blood pressure. So different type of the Atkins diet, Mediterranean diet, low glycemic diet, low caloric diet, and very low caloric diet. I don't want to go into the detail of this diet. I just go these are the list of the food which should be avoided. Canned food, frozen pizza, fish stick, frozen food and veggies, food with the processed sugar, artificial sweetener, anything with edible color, sugary beverage, ready-made dinner, and instant soap and dish. So when we talk about lifestyle modification, Wasim Akram is a role model which implement in the lifestyle modification and passes the healthy life. So then the medical treatment, the preferred medication is on the individualized basis and the medication approved by the FDA for the long-term treatment of the obesity. So these are the different medication which are used for the treatment of obesity. Most important are the two we commonly use, orlistat and the liraglutide. So other are the larcasirin, phentermine, topiramate, and naltrexone and bupiphone. So the mode of action and the side effect, orlistat, as we know, this is a pancreatic lipase inhibitor. So it doesn't guard the systemic side effect, only the gut side effect like steatorrhea, diarrhea, coily stool, and fecal incontinence can occur. As far as the larcasirin is concerned, it is the selective serotonin receptor agonist. It reduces the weight 50%, 5% in up to 50% of patients. It has a number of side effects. That's why we are not using this. Generally, it's called hypoglycemia and cardiac effect. Naltrexone, bupiphone is opioid receptor antagonist and norepinephrine and dopamine reuptake inhibitor. Achieve 5% weight loss in 60% of the patient. Depression and other side effects, so it's not used commonly. Liraglutide, GLP-1 receptor agonist, very important in these days, is a subcutaneous injectable GLP-1. It reduces the weight more than 50% in up to 75%, more than 5% weight in up to 75% of the patient. Side effects are hypoglycemia, pancreatitis, and can be used cautionally in medullary CA. And phentermine, topiramate, norepinephrine, and dopamine receptor agonist reduce 5% weight in 70%, but due to the heart-related issue, is not used nowadays. So ADA 2001 guideline shows to choose the blood glucose medication if compelling need of minimal weight gain or promote weight loss in the absence of the ASCVD, CKD, CH, congestive heart failure. There are two, they recommend GLP-1 receptor agonist or SGLT2. First, use GLP-1 receptor. If target is not achieved, then add SGLT2 receptor. If again target is not achieved, then can add basal insulin. So most important is GLP-1 receptor. These are the GLP-1 receptors which is shown in chronological order of their achievement of the goal. That is, the semaglutide is more potent in reducing the weight, is subcutaneous, weekly injectable, and liraglutide and daily injectable subcutaneous. Dulaglutide is also weekly, and exenatide and lixisenatide is short acting. And at the end, bariatric surgery is the option when is a surgical option. In complicated case, surgery is only recommended for severe obesity, more than 40, as I said earlier, who have failed to lose weight despite the dietary medication modification and pharmacological therapy. Weight loss surgery relies on the various principles. The two most common approach is reducing the volume of the stomach by readjustable gastric banding or vertical banding of the gastroplasty, or decreasing the small gut size by means of the gastric bypass surgery, endoscopic duodenal bypass surgery. Banding surgery is reversible. That is, we can again restore the stomach size by removing the band, while the bowel shortening operation is not reversible. So what can we do in our hospital? So it is the holistic approach by means of which we can treat the obesity. We develop obesity clinic. We have to measure in each visit, our visit, the waist circumference, BMI, and we have नासिर साहब कनेक्ट हो गए हम दोबारा?
Yes, doctor. Yes. Slide be shared.
वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट
जी सर,
अगेन, बार
connect हो
बार
गया।
डिस्कनेक्ट होता है ये तो। कौन सी स्लाइड पे खत्म हुआ था पता नहीं, लेकिन मैं ये करता हूँ, इसको लास्ट स्लाइड है। The reducing weight is not a simple approach. We have to approach is holistically, and participation of not only patient family, patient healthcare provider, that is doctor, nurse, dietitian, all have the role in the management of obesity and diabetes. In summary, managing the condition is important as compared to managing the complication. So weight control is a journey, not a destination. Thank you very much, and I apologize multiple time of disconnection, and sorry for that.
Thank you very much, Dr. Umar. Your lecture was very nice. Your lecture was very nice, but unfortunately, due to technical issues, we couldn't enjoy. I hope the recording is going to be smooth. And when I share your lecture in our recorded, I have made a YouTube link where I am putting all these recorded lectures. I hope the attendees will enjoy this lecture over there. जो आपने second last slide दी है वो तो बहुत ही जबरदस्त है. I wish we implement that in our institute as well. So talking about our institute, Sir Akhtar Saab is online. I request Akhtar Saab to kindly give his comments and his expert views. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I think obviously we discussed last time, unfortunately with the disconnection of the internet today we had, that has happened few times again. But I think so finally we made it. So obviously it is a very important topic. 1/3 of the population in the world is obese or overweight. And the the prevalence of obesity is on rise. So more obesity, more hypertension, more diabetes, more cardiac problems. Obesity is linked to the number of malignancies as well. As I said last time, this is the under-addressed subject. We need to look into it, and we have to work on awareness of regarding the obesity, how to lose the weight if we are obese, and we need to get an ideal body mass index, and we need to speak with the trend addition. But in our country, particularly third world countries, and I'm talking about Pakistan, and look at the prevalence of education, the people are not very aware of obesity, and also not very aware how to lose the weight and what should be the ideal body mass index. So I think there's a very big responsibility of healthcare provider also, the public-private partnership, and also the big role of the media, electronic media, print media, to bring this on surface. So everybody should know about obesity and should know that obesity is the mother of all diseases. I hope in near future we will be able to work on that, and maybe at least we can play our part. And obesity team contains 5 people. One is surgeon, physician, trainer, psychiatric nurse, and dietitian. So even with this strong team, so you can work on one institute, you can work on 2 institutes, but to convey the message to everybody in the country, it's responsibility of all of us, and responsibility of government, responsibility of the healthcare providers, and also the responsibility, as I said, of electronic and media and social network. So if we can work together collectively with wisdom, I think we should be able to convey this message to people of Pakistan that obesity is the mother of all disease, and if we can achieve the ideal body weight, we can spare our time visiting the doctors, we can spend money spending on health care, and we can use that money for our family. And I hope today talk will improve the understanding of obesity management and obesity measurement, and will help all of us to treat our patient in our institutes and in our neighborhood. And thank you so much. And I would like to request all the participants, please fill in the form, feedback form, and we are grateful to the Barrett Hoskins for their continued support to surface this wonderful first online course for, it's not only for fellows, for everybody. We have learned a lot through lectures of senior colleagues, senior teachers who are engaged in up-to-date practices. So thank you so much, Pat Hudson, for your continued support. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for your comments, and I appreciate all the attendees who have been very patient in today's lecture and have been helpful. Have been keen to learn in the other previous lectures as well. One thing important from this lecture was that anti-obesity medications were discussed. Out of them, lorcaserin is now no more recommended and has been withdrawn due to many suicidal attempts. It has been withdrawn from market, and FDA has disapproved this medication. So previously we used to have 5 anti-obesity medications. Now we have only 4. So remember, lorcaserin is no more recommended. Again, I thank my professor, Dr. Akhtar Ali Baloch, and I also thank Dr. Omar for his valuable time. Although the lecture has gone a bit interrupted, but we hope I hope that all the attendees will be able to revise the lecture through the pre-recorded, through the recorded recording that will be available through the link that I've just shared. I have shared a link on the chat box. Kindly all the attendees note that, and if you know each other, share that link with each other so maximum benefit can be attained. Once again, see you on Sunday, that is day after tomorrow. A very exciting lecture by Dr. Khadija Irfan on a very interesting and difficult topic, that is precocious puberty. Thank you very much, and Allah Hafiz.